Welcome back to Beginner Golf Week. This is video number 2, where we're going to show you 3 fantastic drills that can help you if you are that new golfer. So welcome back to the Forest of Arden. It's Beginner Golf Week. Hopefully you've already watched video 1, which gave you 5 tips that can really help you if you're starting out. This video is specifically going to be looking at 3 drills that you can do in your practice, which are really going to work on the fundamentals that you need in order to play good golf. So in this particular video, you're going to learn a little exercise that can help you understand the pivot or the rotation of the body. You're also going to learn how you need to make contact with the golf ball and how that's really important. And you're also going to learn a little bit on how to control the club face down at impact, which, as I say, are pretty key if you're looking to play the game to a decent level. Just before we get started, if you're new to my channel, if you're not a subscriber, there is a link in the description box down below. I'd love you to be part of our community. Go ahead down there now, give that link a click, and also just click the bell icon as well, which means you'll be notified each time I upload a video. So let's get into these drills, and the first one we're going to look at today is a little pivot drill, working on the body rotation. So we're going to take a golf club, or if you do happen to have anything like this would be ideal. This is an alignment stick. You don't necessarily need a golf ball down there, but it kind of helps if you do. It gives you just a focus point. And you're going to take your starting position that you would do for a mid iron, so let's say a 7 or a 6 iron. You're going to cross your hands and you're going to place that alignment stick or that golf club onto your shoulders. Now, this little exercise is really looking at the body motion and what that does in a good golf swing. Effectively, what we do is we have a little pivot backwards, and we have a little pivot forwards, and as we do that, we are shifting our pressure and our weight into the follow through. So the exercise here is actually just to take your starting position, keep your head very, very still, and just make a little rehearsal where we get the sensation that the lead side of this alignment stick is working towards the golf ball. Now, it doesn't ever have to point at the golf ball, and it probably wouldn't do. But what we don't want to do is have anything where the golf club or the alignment stick gets level, because you'll notice in my good little rotation I have some angle. That's really important. And as we go through, we have a very, very similar angle in that alignment stick. So the exercise here is actually keep the head pretty still and just create some tilts in the body. So you can see the alignment stick is constantly working on an angle as my head is staying very still. Notice how when I'm doing this, I'm allowing my knees and my hips to have the same movement. So there's an angle through my hips, both backswing and downswing, and my knees are reacting to that. We then want to take that a stage further, and on the way through, work into a follow-through position that we covered in video 1. So we would start to look a little bit like this. Angle in the alignment stick going back, angle in the alignment stick going through, but we finish in our position where our belt buckle's facing the target, our chest is facing the target, and our weight is on our lead side. So this is a fantastic drill for a new golfer, because we don't have the golf club, we don't have to worry about our grip, we don't have to worry about a result. We can just focus on the pivot, on what the body does in a golf swing. Great little exercise, because you can do this at home, you can do this in the office, you can do this at the driving range, or you can do it on the golf course if you're out there. So tip number 1, or drill number 1, is to work on your pivot and making sure that you're rotating with some angle in your body, and then you're transferring that through to your lead side with some weight on that lead leg. Drill number 2 is really focusing on contact and understanding and getting the concept of what should happen at impact established very, very early on. And we're talking specifically about your iron clubs here, which are going to take up the most part of the full swings that you make on the golf course. You'll notice that I've got 3 golf balls on the ground here, and I've got the middle one, which is the one I'm going to hit. I've also placed a tee peg in front of that golf ball around about the width of my 6 iron, but it doesn't have to be exact. We're just looking at having that tee peg target side of the golf ball. Now, when we hit the ball from the ground, and as I say, that does apply to most of your iron shots. Obviously, we can tee the ball up on the first shot of every hole. What really has to happen is the golf club has to strike the golf ball first, and it has to strike the ground second. If we don't make contact with the ground at all, it's very difficult to hit the middle of the golf club. So we have to make contact with the ground. But it's very, very important where that contact point is. It's no good if it's behind the golf ball, it's no good if it's too far in front of the golf ball. So we have to really be able to control where the golf club lands. And we want the golf club to land and make contact with the ground about where the ball is. If we can get the golf club to land about where the ball is, it ensures that we're going to be hitting the golf ball first and the ground second. And that's really the best way for us to consistently deliver the club to the golf ball. So as a beginner or a new golfer, I would absolutely 100% get you to do this exercise straight away. And the goal really is to make the contact in the ground. And these two golf balls here are just really to give me a reference point as to where my club made contact with the ground. Now what you're going to notice on this little swing here is I'm not necessarily going to do this at full speed. So I'm just going to have a little backswing. I'm just going to try and land the club onto the ground where the ball is. So it wasn't a full swing, but you can see here that I've actually, let's get rid of that T-peg, that was the T-peg that the ball was teed up on. The contact was exactly where I want it to be. It was exactly in the right part relative to the ball. These two golf balls are my reference point. The T-peg that was in front of the golf ball, you can see that's been removed from the ground. So some of you may actually like to focus on that T-peg and actually feel like that's what you're swinging, that's what you're trying to strike. Because if you can strike that second T-peg, it kind of ensures that you're going to hit the ball first and you're also going to hit the ground. But it's a fundamental to playing good golf that we're able to get the golf club to land in the correct place on the ground. And that correct place is basically where the golf ball is. So the two takeaways from this little drill are the golf club has to make contact with the ground if you want to play good golf. But it's really important where that contact point is, and that's where that little drill comes into its own. So that little exercise there is great. And notice how we're talking about the skill as opposed to the technical aspects of how you do it. I don't really want you at this stage to get too concerned with, am I moving my weight, am I moving my head? That stuff can come a little bit later. What we're trying to do here is really develop the skill of striking the ball correctly, because if you can have the task in your mind, your body will hopefully move into the desired positions to allow that to happen. So drill number 2 is a ball striking drill, and that is one of the best drills for a beginner or a new golfer. And finally, the third drill, which is really going to help you if you're a beginner or a new golfer, is what I call a face control drill. You'll notice I've got 3 golf balls teed up here, and I'd like you to do this in groups of 3. So if you're going to the practice area, take the golf balls out of the basket or the bucket, whatever it may be, and just group them into little 3s and get yourself a target out onto the range. And that doesn't have to be a target you can reach, it can be something right in the distance. And what we're going to get you to do with these 3 shots here is going to get you to take your normal starting position and make what you consider to be maybe a half golf swing. So the hands are only going to work to maybe my chest height, and therefore they're going to work towards my chest height on the way through. Now, what I'd like you to do is create 3 golf swings which effectively would look the same. When I say look the same, we're not looking to do anything drastically different on the downswing. So 3 golf swings which look fairly similar, but I'd like you to try and deliver a golf club face which is way open, therefore the ball will go way off to the right. The next swing, I'd like you to deliver the club face extremely closed. That would make the ball go off to the left. And the third one, you're going to try and find something halfway in between that would make the ball go fairly straight. Let me demonstrate what that would look like. So this first one is going to create an open face, and the ball is going to go off to the right. So you can see that the ball went straight off to the right because the club face was delivered open. This second swing, it's going to look fairly similar, but the ball's going to go left. So you can see it's actually hit that tree on the left. And then this third one is me trying to find something that sits sort of in between those two that goes fairly straight. So what am I doing there? What I'm actually controlling? Well, controlling the club face. I'm trying to predict where I want that club face to be at impact. Now, similar to what we said with drill number 2, we're looking at developing skills here as opposed to technically what's happening. We're not changing grip, we're not changing club face position in the backswing, but we're developing a skill. The skill being your ability to control where that club face points. And if you think about the game of golf, if we look at what the best golfers in the world do, we don't look at the positions they have. We don't look at where they are at the top of the golf swing. We just say, well, they all hit the ball really well. They control the club face really well. They hit the ball really far. They're skills that they have. And we're trying to develop those skills in your game very, very early on. So at this stage, I'm not really too concerned with how you leave that face up and how you close that face. But if you can start to get early on in your golf career the ability to control where the club face points and get some elements of control over that, that's really powerful. And if you think about the second exercise, which is a ball striking drill, if you can strike the ball well, you can control where the club face points, you can play this game to a pretty high level. Irrelevant of what your golf swing actually looks like, if you have the skills, you can play the game of golf, and that's really important. So pivot is really important because we have to use the body efficiently to create some speed and some leverage in the golf club. Strike is really important because we have to make good quality contact with the golf ball, and good club face control is really important to good golf as well. So 3 drills which are working on some of the essentials that you need to be good at this game. If you can work on those, Get them into your routine where you go into the range, working on them religiously, your game will start to develop, but trust me, it will happen. So 3 little exercises which can help you if you're a new or beginner golfer. I really hope that's helpful to you. Again, like I said in video 1, please share this with someone who you think can benefit from this. Maybe you know a friend who's new to the game. This video would really be helpful to them. Please share this, give it a thumbs up and a like down there, and drop me a comment as well. And finally, if you're not a subscriber, as I said at the start, clickable link down there, or there's one over here, will allow you to be a member of the community, and it is absolutely free. And I really hope these videos can help you play some better golf. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.